up, YouTube channel? My name is Joe, and I'm so happy you're here. I am the host of our podcast, Book Lounge by Libby, but today I have the distinct pleasure of doing a wonderful unboxing for all of you from our friends over at Sourcebooks. So I have 3 giant boxes to get through today. I'll share the title, the author, the release date, or as close to that as I have information from the books themselves, and some short descriptions, maybe some full descriptions. Let me know in the comments below which of these you are adding to your TBR that are becoming your can't wait to pick that ups. And if you want more info on any of the books, let me know in the comments down below. And of course, as I mentioned, Book Lounge by Libby, it's a podcast I host. We have 2 seasons per year. We have all sorts of content throughout the year. So go check it out on this channel as well. So I'm going to open up this first box, and I think we'll dive on in. So as I said, I have 2 huge boxes and 1 still decently large box, and they're all packed to the brim. I don't know what's in any of these. We're just going to hop in and get excited because, you know, why not? The Hocus Pocus Handbook. This is by Anne Aguirre, and this will be out September 1st. She was stolen from one world. He was trapped in another. Finding each other might cost them everything. Taya Winter has been stolen. She's been raised by a hobgoblin named Mudge, who taught her witchcraft, how to know when the coin Sith would attack, and how to get a one to show its belly. Unfortunately, Mudge didn't teach Taya how to stay out of trouble, which is why she's facing an unwanted marriage of convenience. So we've got, okay, or would be, but her spouse is bolted. Now she has to hunt him down. Devin J. Fenelon, he's been saddled with a taciturn, humorless hunter known as Winter's Hound. He only answers to his cousin, and she's not looking forward to this quest at all. Kerberos has never known freedom. His life is an endless series of ceaseless commands from his reprehensible cousin, Lord Liscal. Since his father's failed rebellion, Kerberos has been permitted to survive only as an example to others, an object lesson as to how far one may fall. So he receives his next assignment, escort Taya Winter and protect her during the search, and it's a glorious torment to travel with her. She is sunshine, he is shadow. Their love is forbidden, but an irresistible force sweeps up an immovable object. The resulting reaction might be magical. The Hocus Pocus Handbook, Anne Aguirre, September 1st. That sounds delightful. As the Snow Gathers by Mare Joyce. This is also September 1st. Love that cover. The forest doesn't just take what it's owed, it takes whatever it wants. Dominic was born in Alpine Shade, a remote Canadian town built on the bones of another that vanished without a trace. Bookish and quiet, he never asked to lead his family, but after a carriage crash kills his father and leaves his sister forever changed, he has no choice. The only person who truly sees him is Lex, a logger in the camp near town, and the love Dominic must keep secret. Together they dream of escaping Alpine Shade, a place where isolation breeds judgment and every kindness hides a cost. So as winter descends and the Thanturs strike back against the logging camp, Dominic and Lex must fight for their lives, their love, and a way out of the woods' tightening grasp. Because the forest doesn't forgive, it never forgets. Love all of that. That sounds absolutely delightful. Now, the thing that's always so fun about these giant boxes from Sourcebooks is we're going to see things like we're in September. Some of them could be this summer. Some of them might even start into next year. We'll know as we get there. This next one is out October 6th from Rosalind Clark. I've Got Plans for You. Rory Wilson and Celeste Markham are friends, or that's what everyone thinks. Their boyfriends are co-captains of the soccer team, they hang out with the same group, and they're even going to the same college in the fall. The truth is, they've been secretly sabotaging each other since middle school, and the only thing keeping their frenemyship from total destruction is they each know each other's darkest secret. So Rory spies on her boyfriend hooking up with Celeste, then endgame begins. It's time to expose Celeste. She'll make the move at the beach house when the entire group is kicking off summer with a week of chilling by the pool, partying, and if Rory plays her cards right, shocking revelations that will turn everyone against Celeste. But taking down a frenemy is no easy task, and Rory's not the only one in the house bent on destruction. Either Celeste is more devious than Rory realized, or someone else is stealthily playing the circle of friends against one another. So check that out. Silver Sweet from Krista and Becca Ritchie. Be Legendary or Burn It All Down. This one's coming in August. It's a thick one. Phoenix is a hot drummer with a bad attitude. Tom is a punk rock singer who's too hard to impress. Two problem children of their bands have one shot at making it big in this rock star romance if they don't burn it all down. So Tom Cobalt has been called a lot of things: arrogant god, overachiever, demanding uncooperative jerk. It comes with the territory of being the fifth born of a storied family. Not even his own punk rock band can meet his high standards. So when every member of the Caraways quits on him before finishing an album, he's left with a bruised ego and a major dilemma. Phoenix St. Pierre has enough baggage to ground every plane in New York City. He's volatile, sleep-deprived, and still carrying the fallout of imploding his own band. He should not be paired with Tom, the stuck-up trust fund baby who pushes all his buttons. Yet the second chance is impossible to walk away from. Making music means too much to Phoenix and Tom to let this last shot slip through their fingers, but working together feels like a Shakespearean disaster ready to unfold, especially when off-the-charts chemistry, undeniable attraction, and destructive habits threaten to make or break them. Megan Quinn, Just for the Plot. This is in July. They're just friends, at least that's what she thinks. Him, he has other plans. Bennett Brinkham is San Francisco baseball's golden boy, focused, disciplined, and very bad at ignoring the one woman he shouldn't want. Falling for his sister's best friend was inevitable, even though she's always seen him as safe, familiar, and firmly off limits. So I think we know what to expect there. Banter and delightful romance ensue. Then from Natalie Borelli on October 20th, we have Missing Molly. Millions are searching for the truth. Only she knows it's all a lie. Rachel Holloway built a quiet life in London. She has a daughter, a partner, and a steady job at the local paper. Then the paper launches a true crime podcast, and their first case is the disappearance of 12-year-old Molly Forster, missing since her family's brutal murder 12 years ago. But Rachel knows exactly what happened to Molly, because Rachel is Molly. As the story goes viral, new evidence emerges that confirms what Rachel has known all along. The wrong person was convicted, the real killer is still free, and they're coming for Rachel. Fun. Love a fun thriller. Okay, October 6th from Tamara Berry, The Claus Conspiracy. It's beginning to look a lot like murder. Amber Winslow thought she'd left chaos behind when she traded bounty hunting for small-town life in Arizona. Between her job as a barista and recording a true crime podcast with a lively group of retirees at Seven Ponds Retirement Community, life has finally settled into something resembling calm. Until a battered, amnesiac teenager crashes into it, literally. The girl only knows one thing for certain: Amber's voice from the podcast. Clutching a post-it note with Amber's address, she arrives with no memory of who she is and a dead Santa Claus in her trunk. Determined to uncover the truth, Amber and her sharp-witted octogenarian crew begin digging and quickly discover this is no holiday mishap. Their search uncovers a trail of rogue mall Santas, a dangerous drug operation, and secrets someone is willing to kill to protect. Love that. Fun, fun, fun. My gosh. So many good books, and we're like halfway through the first box. Coming this August, The Villain Isn't Supposed to Be King from Rena Kent. This is Deviant King Royal Elite Book 1. Elsa, I have a simple plan. Finish Royal Elite School and get into my dream university. One glance from the school's king blows up my plan in smoke. One glance and he suffocates my heir. One glance and he issues his death sentence. His first words spiral my life into irreparable chaos. I will destroy you. Everything about Aiden King is black. Black mind, black heart, black soul. I should have remained quiet and endured the time I have left. I didn't. I made the irrevocable mistake of provoking the king on his throne, the devil in his hell, and now I'll pay the price. Being hated by Aiden King is dangerous, but being wanted by him is lethal. Ooh, gotta balance my boxes here. Okay. Ooh. I'm a sucker for a good cover. And this is what I was saying. So this one is coming in January of 2027. This is January 5th. The Betrayed by Kate Francis. I love the cabin on the cover. 6 teens play an innocent game in the woods, but there's a traitor among them, and not everyone will make it home alive. From the author of Every Last Liar comes a thrilling story of survival. In the middle of the night, Liv Walker is taken from her bedroom by two masked figures. As she's dragged into an unmarked van, she begs her family to save her, only to realize they are the ones responsible for her kidnapping. They're sending her to Camp Smiling Skies, a wilderness therapy program for troubled teens. At least that's what it says on the glossy brochure. In reality, it's a place with dark secrets, sadistic counselors, and no chance of escape. Liv isn't sure things could get any worse until one by one people start to die, their deaths mirroring a seemingly innocent game of werewolf the group played one night by the campfire. Liv has already been betrayed by her family, but they're not the only traitors in her life. There's a murderer in the camp, and not everyone is getting out alive. Oh, hey, that sounds delightful to me. But y'all know I'm a sucker for like an isolated story, a camp cabin kind of story. From Joe Salazar, we have If We Survive the Night. This is coming August 25th, so not too long from when you'll be seeing this video. This is a new series, The Deadweight. This is book 1. It's kill or be killed in this heart-pounding apocalyptic horror. The first book in a new series, If We Survive the Night, combines the ruthless zombie perils of The Last of Us with the every woman for herself angle of Yellow Jackets. What type of person does it take to survive the end of the world? 16-year-old Quinn is used to being told what she feels inside isn't quite right. After getting kicked out of multiple foster homes and narrowly escaping juvenile detention, she's undergoing therapy at a residential treatment center for troubled girls. Looking for a night of freedom, Quinn sneaks onto the roof with her best friend Keisha, and what she sees changes everything. She witnesses the start of the zombie apocalypse. All right. If you like zombies, that is for you. Cover. So this is a pretty cover. This is from Cam Moranova. It says hardcover available June 2026. So this might be out already. Once Upon a Demon's Heart. In a world ravaged by war and ruled by vengeful gods, love is both a weapon and a curse. Haunted by her role in a massacre that reignited an ancient war, demigod knight Alira is cursed to relive her kingdom's destruction, dying again and again at the hands of the Blood Knight, a ruthless demon commander. But when the demons propose a peaceful marriage to end the bloodshed, Alira volunteers herself, desperate to break the cycle and save her people. Okay. Ooh, okay. Last one for this box. This is Devil. Oh, by Sierra Simone. Better the Devil You Know. Okay, let's see. August 2026. So again, not too long. Great cover. Bertie Cooper has nothing left. Just one moment of weakness 7 years ago, and she lost her job, her church, her only friend. Now she's working nights at a gas station to scrape together a living and a way to care for her sister, completely alone and separated even from the art that gave her life meaning. Ryan Bell has never forgotten his first obsession. He's been trying to find the tremblingly shy lecturer from his senior year of college after she abruptly disappeared after their first and only kiss. So when he comes upon the statue of Lucifer carved in Ryan's own likeness, two things become starkly apparent. 1, he knows how to find her now, and 2, he's been haunting Bertie Cooper's memory as much as she's been haunting his. Ryan can't offer love or even an apology, but he can offer her a bargain, one crafted first and foremost to free him from his punishing obsession with her. If Bertie agrees to be his in every way for a single year, then he'll pay for her sister's care for as long as she's alive. And what does Bertie have to lose anyway? The forbidden fruit is her only chance at salvation. Unfortunately for Bertie, she just might be the only chance for his. Interesting. 1 box down, 2 to go. Sorry if you hear the fan in the background. Y'all. Just opening up this next mega box. And of course, y'all are propped on a table. So we're getting moved about the cabin. Okay. Shall we continue? Ready? Let's see what's next. This one is chock full. July 14th. So this one is almost out at the time of recording. The Table Where We Meet, Lessons Learned from Dinner with 1,000 Strangers by Jess Jans. We all want to be known. Most of us just don't know how to begin. When Jess Jans found herself craving deeper conversations, but trapped in a world of small talk, she took a leap. What started as a casual idea in a hair salon soon became Dinner with Strangers, a growing movement where guests gather around the table, introduce themselves without ever mentioning work, and share who they are beyond the job title. No scripts, no expectations, just curiosity, courage, and a seat at the table. In The Table Where We Meet, Jess reflects on what she's learned from hosting dinners with more than 1,000 strangers across North America. With essays that are both tender and practical, she explores what it means to belong, how to ask better questions, and why connection requires us to risk truly being seen. Sounds so good. Oh. Okay. Julie Barlow and Jean-Benoit Nadeau, December 8th. This is 60 Million Frenchmen Can't Be Wrong, the je ne sais quoi of being French. In this cultural and historical guide, award-winning authors Julie Barlow and Jean-Benoit Nadeau reveal the mysteries behind the French culture and answer the question, what makes the French so French? Why must you always say bonjour when entering a store in France? What gives the French people such a deep connection to the land? And why do the French always seem to be protesting something? With meticulous research and years of lived experience, the authors take you on an insightful journey, showing exactly what makes the French tick and how their society works. They dissect the many intricacies of the French way of life, illustrating how France earned its reputation as a cultural giant. Prepared to be enlightened, entertained, and occasionally startled by the engaging exploration of an incredible nation, one that has left an indelible mark on the world. So that'll be December 8th. Okay. This seems like a lot of nonfiction. We might be in the nonfic box, y'all. Okay, so this is off the top of my head. Barbara Lazio, MD, board-certified neurosurgeon, September 22nd. Stories from the operating room that will make you laugh or cry. I don't know if I've got my focus right. I'm trying a new camera, y'all. Apologies. Thank you for learning with me. Inside every skull is a story of heart, humanity, and the occasional odd hairball. You might think brain surgery is all cool precision and high-stakes drama. Sometimes it is, but more often it's a gritty, smelly, and surprisingly absurd job. One that involves titanium screws, nerve sacs the size of grapes, and moments so human they'll break your heart or make you snort with laughter behind your surgical mask. So inside you'll find gripping behind-the-scenes moments from the OR, equal parts miraculous and messy, memorable patients facing the unimaginable with courage, humor, and grace, a rare glimpse of the emotional life of a neurosurgeon, and unexpected levity in the face of death, grief, and the unknown. Again, in the comments down below, tell me which one of these books is jumping out to you. Give me your list from this app. Let me hear what you're checking out. From Roberta Kwok, July 7th, so at the time of recording, this is almost about to come out. Lost in Curiosity, Field Notes from Scientists' Adventures into the Unknown. The real story of science isn't a triumphant breakthrough. It's messy, mysterious, and deeply human. Award-winning journalist Roberta Kwok pulls back the curtain on what scientific discovery actually looks like. Not a eureka moment, but a fraught, often chaotic pursuit of truth. Through vivid reporting and moments of unexpected emotion, Kwok reveals the inner lives of researchers who care profoundly about understanding our world and saving what's left of it. From enigmatic fossils and mind-bending physics to the puzzling behavior of wild animals, Lost in Curiosity is a journey through the questions that keep scientists up at night and the sometimes strange, always illuminating paths they take to answer them. Okay, from Evie Saris, PhD, Lessons from the Housewives. This will be out October 10th. What TV's most iconic women taught me about strength, resilience, and embracing the chaos. The feminist truths hiding in plain sight behind every glitter-fueled meltdown. For feminist media scholar Evie Saris, the Real Housewives franchise has been her greatest source of entertainment and comfort since its first iteration. It's also where she learned some of life's most important lessons. Maintaining friendships? Check. Fostering work ethic? Check. Being a bit delusional? Also check. In Lessons from the Housewives, Sarah dives headfirst into the glittering, chaotic universe of the Real Housewives to reveal the surprising wisdom tucked beneath taglines, table flips, and redemption arcs. So drawing on anonymous interviews with housewives and producers who shape the spectacle, Saras uncovers the feminist storytelling at the heart of a franchise long dismissed as trash, a word she boldly reclaims as a badge of women-centered creativity, with insights on resilience, friendship, dynamics, reinvention, and embracing life's messiest moments. She illuminates why these iconic women resonate so powerfully and what they can teach us about falling, rising, and owning our stories with style. Tell Me About Joy, September 8th, from Kara Kavensky, a true story of love, regret, and second chances. A wartime romance, a journalist on the brink, and a miraculous reunion that changes everything. For readers of Eat, Pray, Love, Tuesdays with Morrie, and Untamed, this poignant story reminds us that it's never too late for love. Kara is a journalist stuck in a crumbling marriage, quietly losing hope when she's assigned to write a human interest piece on World War II veterans. She meets Bob, a sharp, charming nonagenarian who shares his greatest regret, that he missed out on marrying the love of his life, a woman named Joy. It's been over 60 years. Joy is somewhere out there, and Bob has one last wish: find her before it's too late. What begins as a routine work assignment turns into a story that changes everything. As Kara sets out to reunite two long-lost lovers, she's forced to confront the losses and longings of her own life. What unfolds is a moving, unforgettable journey through memory, healing, and the enduring power of love. Oh. Okay, we've got The Vampire's Cult, The Untold Story of Obsession, Control, and Shocking Small-Town Murder by Chet Hardin. This is coming August 4th. Y'all know, if you've checked out the podcast, I love a cult story. But this is a true story. This is a true crime book. A self-proclaimed vampire, his harem of witches, and the small-town murder that shocked America. When 24-year-old Sydney Loof disappeared after a Tinder date, the quiet town of Wilbur, Nebraska was stunned. Days later, her dismembered body was found scattered across nearby fields, and the horrifying truth began to emerge. Sydney hadn't just met the wrong man. She had crossed paths with a deeply disturbed psychopath and his dangerous accomplice. In The Vampire's Cult, investigative journalist Chet Hardin exposes the twisted world of Aubrey Trail, an aging con man who presented himself as an all-powerful being, and Bailey Boswell, the woman who called herself his queen. Together they lured vulnerable young women into a spiral of sex, theft, and psychological manipulation, with deadly consequences. Through exclusive interviews, first-hand reporting, and chilling detail, Hardin unravels the making of a modern cult and the social desperation that feeds it. In an era defined by false realities and toxic charisma, The Vampire's Cult reveals just how easily darkness can disguise itself as devotion. Ooh. That one will get you. That one will make you think. Okay. Ooh. Bound manuscript, fall 2026. I don't even know if I can share this. Wow. Little secret. I'll keep you posted on that one. Oh, puppy, because of a dog, how an enchanted Italian village mended a broken heart. Matthew Sigmund, August 11th. Look at that. One dog's love, one man's journey. When Matthew Sigmund's beloved dog Augie died, his world fell apart. His boyfriend broke up with him, his work dried up. Even the ceiling of his West Village apartment collapsed. Heartbroken and adrift, Matthew did the only thing he could. He ran. An impulsive escape to Europe didn't lead to cafes of Paris or the islands of Greece. Instead, thanks to a fluke in an Airbnb map, he landed in Corna, a remote Italian mountain village seemingly hidden from tourists and from time itself. There, amid winding cobblestone streets and alpine silence, Matthew stumbled into an unlikely friendship and madcap adventures with an exuberant innkeeper, Valerio, and discovered the warmth of a community that welcomed him as one of their own. Oh, we continue on. Okay, I'm seeing that maybe the top layer was our nonfiction, and there's a bunch of fiction in there. This is The Odyssey Mindset by Sam Akbar, PhD. This will be out July 7th. 7 timeless lessons on strength, resilience, and the power of purpose. So the 7 essential life lessons from the Odyssey, a timeless story of grit, resilience, and staying true to your purpose. So drawing on her unique expertise as both an Oxford-educated classicist and a clinical psychologist, Dr. Sam Akbar guides readers through Odysseus' voyage from Troy to Ithaca and the deeper psychological journey toward self-knowledge that underpins it. Wherever you find yourself on your path, the Odyssey mindset offers timeless guidance to help you face challenges, stay the course, and move toward the life you want. Okay, this might be our last nonfiction. Yeah, I think so. Says history. Discovering the History Buried Beneath Our Feet. So this is Things We Found in the Ground by Ellie Bruce and Lucy Gray, September 22nd. When you search for the past, you just might find yourself. Cousins Ellie and Lucy set out to find buried treasure. Instead, they stumble into an unexpected journey, one that uncovers forgotten histories, rekindles family bonds, and digs deep into who they are becoming. Reuniting for the first time in over 20 years at their grandfather's home, the two quickly discover a shared fascination with hunting for the past. What begins as a tentative hobby soon becomes a shared obsession, sending them across fields and footpaths in search of objects lost to time. Across months of digging, Ellie and Lucy make surprising finds, artifacts that illuminate the lives of those that came before them, revelations about their own identities and family ties, and the joy of belonging to a community of villagers, detectorists, and history lovers who welcome them in. So, very cute. And I see there's a storm a-brewing. I'm losing my light, so let me make some adjustments, and I'll be back. Okay, y'all. So I went to charge the light, and in the time it took to do all that, a whole other box from Sourcebooks arrived. So we're going to power through some of these because we're only like a quarter into box 2, and I have 2 more big boxes to get through. So I'm gonna do some more skimming. But this next one is from LJ Ross. It's called Bedlam. It will be coming October 6th, I was looking at 2026. In a world turned upside down, who can you trust? Fresh from solving a high-profile case in Paris, elite forensic psychologist and criminal profiler, Dr. Alexander Gregory is pulled into another nightmare. The FBI is on the brink of losing its biggest trial yet. The wife of a notorious criminal, their star witness, has been committed to a private psychiatric hospital and declared unfit to testify. Without her, their case collapses. Buchanan Hospital is locked down tight, and its formidable staff are as secretive and unpredictable as the patients they treat. With no one left to trust, the FBI has no choice but to turn to Gregory. Now he must enter the hospital and untangle a web of manipulation and murder before the clock runs out. So that sounds fun. Again, since I'll be flying through some of these so we can get all of these great books in front of your faces, don't be afraid to put in the comments down below any books that you want more info on. I will respond with links to them or, deeper info. Anyway, from Heidi Perks, this is also October 6th. It ends here. Someone inside is a killer, someone outside knows why. One quiet morning in a small seaside town, a single gunshot brings everything to a standstill. Trapped inside the cafe where the shot was fired are 5 strangers. Outside is a growing crowd and 5 loved ones desperate for answers. So a bit of a locked room case there. Then from Lucinda Berry, Saving Noah, September 8th. A mother's love is supposed to be unconditional, but what if it shouldn't be? Noah is the boy everyone admires, an honor student, a champion swimmer, a hometown success story, until he confesses to sexually abusing young girls during swim practice. In a single moment, his future evaporates and his family shoulders the fallout. After 18 months in a juvenile sexual rehabilitation center, Noah returns home, but the town recoils and his father refuses to let him back into their family's life. Noah's mom, Adrienne, is forced into an impossible role, the mother of a child no one believes deserves saving. Okay, so that's that one. They already dug the grave from Emma C. Wells. This is out September 8th. Only the best sisters draw blood. Millie can't divine the future anymore, and maybe that's a good thing. Lately, her life has been bleak enough. She doesn't need the now silent tea leaves to tell her. Meanwhile, her estranged younger sister thrives miles away in a shiny new life with a shiny new marriage. Millie doesn't blame Frances for wanting nothing to do with her, not after what happened in that Tennessee meadow a decade before. From Jama Fixin, August 18th, Don't Look Close. If you look too closely, a killer might look back. When Peter Simmons calls his sister Edie from the polio rehabilitation ward, he expects to hear that she's on her way to greet him. Instead, he learns her ex-husband has been murdered, and whispers around town have turned her into a prime suspect. Determined to set things right, Peter checks himself out of the hospital and heads to Clairbeck, the rugged mining community Edie calls home. He can't walk or drive unassisted, but armed with his camera and a stubborn streak, he's intended on proving her innocence. Okay, Buried in the Woods Below, Daniel G. Miller, September 1st. The cover for you. Sorry, new camera. I'm learning the focus and all that. Some memories were never meant to stay buried. When Charlotte Hoffman's picture-perfect career implodes overnight, she retreats to the one place she swore she'd never return, Big Island, Minnesota, home to her childhood best friend, Olivia Parker, and the place where her life first fell apart. 18 years ago, tragedy struck, and Charlotte's blamed herself for that bloody night ever since. Now she's back, staying with the Parkers in their isolated lakeside home, surrounded by dark woods, shrouded in mist, and the decaying remains of a long-abandoned amusement park. But something isn't right. From Eric LaSalle. Okay, hey Eric, September 8th, this is Laws of Solomon. It's a Martyr Maker novel. Got to meet Eric a few years ago at our convention, Digipalooza. Redemption isn't given, it's fought for. After years of violence, Solomon leaves the brutal backdrop of New York and its underworld to find peace in California, where he settles for the quiet life of a gardener defined by routine, restraint, and a fragile kind of peace that had eluded him. Having been a former child soldier, mercenary, and hitman, he is determined to put his past behind him. But as violence erupts on the grounds he tends, his hard-won tranquility shatters when he encounters a young boy named Gabby, whose life is in danger. Alexandra Benedict, out September 8th, Little Red Death. This is Once Upon a Time Like You've Never Read It Before. For 25 years, D.I. Lila Rondell has lived with one unsolved case, her best friend's disappearance. The only clue, a poisoned apple, earned it the nickname Snow White. It's haunted her ever since. But these deaths are far from the stuff of bedtime stories, and worse, it becomes increasingly clear that these killings, and the messages left within them, are addressed directly to Lila. As the murders get more gruesome, Lila becomes entangled in a web of crime and storytelling that goes far deeper than she could have ever imagined. Check that one out. Okay. From Anne de Villa Cardinal, we have Hear the Dead. Love that. Anne is a wonderful conversation. October 6th, fun cover, very punk. One woman, a string of unsolved murders, only she can hear the victims. Elena Altieri never wanted to be famous, and certainly not at 66 years old. For more than 40 years, she's been hiding from her New York City punk rock youth in the hills of Vermont. But now the past is catching up with her in more ways than one. Not only is she losing her hearing, but the photographs she took of a recently deceased musician are going viral. Suddenly, she finds herself summoned back to the city for an exhibit celebrating her work and thrust into a world she hoped she'd locked away forever. A world where her best friend Sin is dead. So very interesting. Like I said, we gotta motor through these, but that I will be adding to the list. We have two of those. All right. Monster in the Mirror, Janasha Prabhu, October 20th. Her uncle was a serial killer. The town whispers, could she be a killer too? On the night Gia Rai was found cradling her girlfriend Georgia's dead body at the bottom of Wailing Cliff, everyone suspected her. There wasn't enough evidence to charge her, but the town refuses to forget. Murder must run in the family. Gia's uncle was a convicted serial killer, and while he died behind bars, his legacy lives on in Gia and her sister. It doesn't matter that they lived in Dermot their whole lives. They have never fit into the insular white community, and perhaps they never will. Wicked Wanted Widows, Kimberly Bell, Kate Holohan, and Vanessa Lilly, August 25th. Here we go. Inspired by real history from the Salem witch trials to the billion-dollar Gardner Museum art heist, the latest totally 80s, totally thrilling adventure blends nonstop action with the wild and wicked widow antics. So, fun series if you want to try it out. Young Witch Widows is hands down the most original thriller you'll read all year. Laugh out loud funny, twisty, and full of surprises. That was a quote from Wendy Walker, bestselling author of What Remains. An 80s romp with big hair and even bigger secrets. Grab your popcorn and settle in for this incredibly fun and twisty read. And that is a quote from Geneva Rose. So definitely check out Wicked Wanted Widows, August 25th. Then let's see, from Adele Griffin, November 3rd, First Love, Last Love. One woman must decide if the life she built is the one she truly wants or the one she stayed in because it was safe. So, yes, this is listed as fiction. Vita Jameson has made a life out of steadiness, a son she adores, a home carefully rebuilt after loss. She favors the reliable, the unsurprising, the things that hold, but it all takes is a winter storm, a chance encounter, and a familiar voice to turn certainty into quicksand. Okay, from Melissa Anderson Sweezy, September 29th, The Sisters of Crimson House. Every house has its secrets. So this, yep, looking at my notes, September 29th. Okay, Charlie Bride is miserable in a house filled with magic, the only woman in a long line of famous psychics to not inherit the family gift. She spends her days inside Crimson House, the coveted family mansion in Memphis, living in the shadows of her talented older sister Miranda. But when a shocking tragedy scatters the brides across the globe, Charlie is forced to grow up on her own and fast. As the money runs dry and the ownership of Crimson House is put at risk, she's left with no other option. Turn the manor into a haunted attraction and start representing the family brand with lies, cons, and expertly read tarot cards to make ends meet. Sounds fun. Okay, Claire McIntosh, September 22nd, It's Not What You Think. Lisa Jewell says this is madly twisty and super pacey and so clever. And Alice Feeney said this book is so addictive it should come with a warning. He has a secret. She knows he's lying. You think you know the people you love. Nadika is certain Jamie is having an affair. She knows the telltale signs. She's been here before. You think you know who you can trust. When Jamie claims to be at work late, she knows he's lying. He's with another woman, and she's determined to catch him in the act. You think you know how the story ends. But when Nadika arrives home to confront him, Jamie can't explain himself. The house has become a crime scene. Jamie is dead. Okay. Sincerely Your Murderer by Ravenna Garan, Edgar Award-nominated author of Catch Your Death. Love this cover. October 13th. Can you figure out who I am before your murder on Monday? From the author of This Book Kills and Catch Your Death comes a new novel filled with murder, mystery, and mind-blowing twists, perfect for fans of Holly Jackson and Karen M. McManus. It's been 1 year and 6 days since 17-year-old Kay left her sleepy hometown after the devastating death of her best friend, Ivy. But now she's back, forced to stay with her aunt as her parents jet off to a holiday without her. She was hoping for a quiet week of boredom and memories, but what actually greets her is a terrifying, anonymous letter left on her bed. Okay. July 28th, so not too long from the time you're watching this, from Alex Travis, Black Girls Don't Cry, They Get Even. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Ida and JJ could have been the ultimate power couple of Banneker High. As the VP and president of their Black Student Union, the two seemed destined to be yearbook legends. But that was before JJ learned Ida was equally attracted to girls. JJ is already deep in a new relationship, which infuriates Ida almost as much as a sexist hot list starts circulating the school. It's bad enough anyone rated the girls on their looks, but the list has only white students. Seriously? There has never been any racial diversity among the prom queen candidates at Banneker, so the BSU decides to make their own statement on beauty and run a candidate. Now, Ida and JJ's new girlfriend are both competing for the title. Ida wants to make a point more than win the crown, but having smart, savvy Amaya as her campaign manager might just help her do both. She's already winning Ida's heart. Competition is fierce. Suddenly, the prom queen candidates are starting to get picked off one by one, dropping out and dropping dead. Forget winning a tiara. Who will live to see the prom? Fun. All right, we've got... Oh. Okay, from B. Fitzgerald, August 18th, Better Than Revenge. Their feud made them iconic. One decision made them infamous. After all, where's the fun in rivalry if there's no bloodshed? Nadine Haywood and Harper Moore have been rivals since their first days at drama school. A feud that has consumed them. A feud more passionate, more clawing than the gossip magazines ever note. Hollywood's it girl versus the acclaimed starlet caught in an obsession that can only lead to one thing: someone's downfall. With flashback to Harper and Nadine's infamous infighting building toward a murder that makes them iconic, and excerpts of an interview with Nadine and Harper's upcoming true crime documentary, this is a salacious tale of scandal, ego, and infamy about two frenemies who may be more to each other than they would ever like to admit. So, fun little fiction romp there. Okay. Recruitment, K.A. Riley, November 3rd. The Resistance Trilogy. In a world ruled by secrets, where does your loyalty lie? On the eve of her 17th birthday, Cress knows everything is about to change. In the Volta, an isolated mountain town, recruitment day is a line between before and after. Because once the recruiters come for the 17s, none of them are ever seen again. When the recruiters arrive, Cress is forced to leave behind Render, her genetically bonded raven. As her companion and protector, he is her most closely guarded secret and the only family she has left. Separation from Render isn't just heartbreak, it means losing the one connection that made her different and maybe strong enough to survive what's coming. So it sounds like a fun YA fiction trilogy there. Check that one out in November. Okay, from Bethan Chrome, we have Rain. This is coming September 1st. Beautiful cover. The kingdom of Lioness is absent of magic, but not of rain. In the rain-soaked kingdom of Lioness, magic is outlawed, punishable by death. So when Neva's forbidden witchcraft is exposed, she flees her rainy village disguised as a man. She never meant to end up on a battlefield. Mistakenly conscripted into a brutal war engineered by a paranoid king against a vengeful sorceress determined to reclaim her throne, Neve now hides another secret: her womanhood. Between fighting terrifying beasts and confronting arcane powers she once believed were merely folklore, she is thrust into a world where survival relies on more than luck. It demands alliances. Okay, from Ava Hunter, out October 20th, Whiskey Burn. I don't know why I developed an accent when I read that. She ran to Montana to save her life. She never expected to lose her heart. After witnessing a brutal murder, dancer Delilah Grant has two choices: disappear or die. Armed with a stolen USB and nothing left to lose, she flees to a remote Montana ranch, hiding in plain sight at Weston Whiskey, where hard work and silence are her only shields. Cole Weston doesn't trust her for a second. A former bull rider with a permanent scowl and a dark past he doesn't talk about, Cole knows trouble when he sees it, and Delilah is drowning in secrets. So give me a trope list. So there you go. Okay, we're almost through this box. The End Crowns All, A Love to Defy the Gods by B. Fitzgerald, international best-selling author of Girl, Goddess, Queen, September 15th. Check out that cover. Love caused this war, at least that's what the stories will say. When Princess Cassandra's patron god Apollo offers her the gift of prophecy and all the power that comes with it, she jumps at the opportunity. But when she fails to uphold her end of the agreement, her prophecy becomes doomed. No one believes her visions of a luring, lonely girl who is going to start a war. When war finally strikes, fate brings Cassandra and Helen together in ways not even the gods could have foretold. Together, they will change their destinies or be the ruin of all that they love. But how can they change their futures when following their hearts means defying the gods themselves? Oh, okay, Caitlin Riley, September 15th. She thought he was perfect. Look what you did. There we go. A page-turning debut thriller for fans of Kathleen Glasgow and Megan Lally about a teen who must confront her own buried trauma to clear her best friend's name and expose the dark secrets of her small town. After the tragic death of Golden Boy Will Ashford, everyone in town is in mourning, or almost everyone. 17-year-old Mackenzie couldn't be more relieved, because she knows Will's veneer of perfection hid something dark and dangerous. It was a truth she learned one night at the Ashford house and swore never to tell. But her plan is threatened when she starts receiving texts from an unknown number. Someone knows the secret Mackenzie has tried to hide, and they are determined to reveal it. When Mackenzie's former best friend is found dead, she is convinced the anonymous texter is connected to her murder, and she will stop at nothing to find them. Caitlin Riley is a screenwriter, journalist, and now author who lives in Los Angeles. Look What You Did is her debut novel. You can watch her film How to Lose a Popularity Contest on Tubi. Okay, another box down. Here we go. Oh. What's in this one? Okay, for the sake of time, I'm going to skip the ones that have come out already. But that was Tell Me With Kisses, Mercedes Ron, Bulletproof, Cam Moranova. Let's see. Okay, August 11th. Want Me, Take Me, Haunt Me, Make Me, Isabel Rowley. She will be sacrificed. Medium for hire Hazel Lewis has a serious problem. The man who hired her for a routine seance turned out to be a dying serial killer bound by a demonic contract, and the ritual, a trap meant to sacrifice her to fulfill its insidious terms. Now a demon's mark is spreading under her skin, bleeding the supernatural into her world. Sounds very cool. This one we're also going to skip because it came out in May, but Kristen Cast. There we go. That was Fortune. April, King of Gluttony, Anna Huang. Ooh. Okay, July. 50 true stories that will scare you to death. True crime hauntings, aliens, and more from TikTok sensation Sebastian Krall. Very cool. This deeply horrifying collection of 50 chilling stories is not for the faint of heart. Collected and told by viral true crime storyteller Sebastian Krall, these true tales dive into the unexplained, the unsettling, and the unimaginable, with frightening and gruesome real-life accounts of murder, mystery, abduction, and hauntings, and so much more. Okay, July. This one will be out sometime this month. I don't have a specific date. Oh, July 7th. Okay. By the time you're seeing this, this is already out. Into the Fading Twilight, Catherine Cowles. She's known nothing but darkness for 413 days, but he'll burn down the world to save her. July 14th, Falling Into You from Jill Shalvis. Some love stories don't stay buried, no matter how far you run. Hazel Pierce has 3 goals coming back to Star Falls: help her estranged dad, keep things strictly temporary, absolutely under no circumstances fall for Tucker Colburn again. Perfect Escape, as said by Lucy Score. Okay, September 22nd, The Ice Beyond, Olivia Wilderstein, cover to be revealed. He defied his pack to love me. I had 2 childhood dreams, to shift into a wolf and to win Norden Stromson's forbidden heart. Okay. July 7th, Carolyn Brown, Until It Gets Real. Fans of beloved Southern films will flip for this charming small-town tale. That's Women's World for the Sisters Cafe. Caution, fake relationship in progress. Try not to fall in love. This one came out in June, so we'll move past quick. But Lola and the Millionaires Part 1 from Catherine Moon. Okay, from Jennifer L. Armentrout, friend of the show, Torn. This one came out in June as well. Torn between duty and survival. Nothing can be the same. Where the Blame Lies, Mia Sheridan. This one came out in June as well. People always say things like everything will work out or that won't happen. But what about when things didn't work out or when the unthinkable happened? Okay, August 25th, The Dark in Her Veins, M.K. Lobb. Nothing is sacred for those willing to pay the price. In Val Stott, everything has a price. Sin leaves its mark in the form of the blood rot, a slow, creeping disease that leads to madness, then death. The rich outsource their violence, the poor sell theirs and suffer the cost. West of Forever, this one came out June 16th from Corinne Michaels, cute cover. And so the enemies became lovers. Sarah Kate, September 1st, The Daddy's Girl. Here we go. He's the love of her life and the one man she can never have. Amelia Kate is ready to grow up. She's loved the same man since she was young, and it's time to let go of her hopeless childhood crush. Especially because he isn't just any man, he's her father's best friend, her godfather. Even if he did want her, which he absolutely doesn't, their relationship is forbidden. Ooh, ooh, ooh. September 1st, A Fall to Forgive You, Morgan Moncombe. Apologies on any pronunciations I mess up. How far can forgiveness take you? Camelia O'Brien has just learned of the mysterious death of Rory Cavendish, the boy who bullied her in high school and who instigated all his friends into bullying her too. The presumed murderer is Lou McAllister, Rory's best friend, who humiliated her 10 years ago. Someone she has neither forgotten nor forgiven. This one came out in May from Pippa Grant, The Worst Wedding Date. He's a tattooed shirtless bad boy, my best friend's brother, and the jerk on the other side of my bed. August 11th, Lily Lucas, This Could Be Love. There's something about the Hawaii sunshine. Rising tennis star Louisa Herzog Riggs has worked her butt off to be the best in the game. After an injury forces her to take a break, she's ready to get back to the top. Where better to train than the beautiful Hawaiian Islands? Her godmother's tennis school has the sun, sand, and second chance she needs. I know, I really put the... Oh, scan to listen to the playlist on Spotify. Oh, cool. I really punched the gas on this one. All right, this is our last book of the box. This is coming out July, Stolen by Shadows from Elizabeth Helen. Once upon a time, I used to look upon the sun. Now there's only darkness and the Prince of Thorns. I am his captive, his thrall. Caspian, the man he used to be, is nothing but a memory. And if the Prince of Thorns gets his way, all of the enchanted veil and the 4 other princes bound to my heart will fall to ruin. Okay, y'all. We are almost there. One big box. And this one came today. So let's see what's in here. Some paper, some paper, some paper, a packing slip. Well, no spoilers. Okay. All right. Rounding out our unboxing with this final box. This one is July from Pippa Grant as well. The Gossip and the Grump. Cute cover. He's the last man I should have picked for a one-night stand. See that guy over there? The insanely tall, broad-shouldered, dark-haired, scowling, I don't drink coffee suit? Surprise, he's the new owner of my family's mountain cafe. The cafe that has been my life's purpose since I was born in the kitchen there almost 30 years ago. The cafe that he's planning to completely gut and renovate for revenge against my family. He's also the funny, charming, irresistible guy I spilled all my secrets to last week, during the hottest one-night stand of my life. As my dog would say, woof me. So check that out. All right. The Little Book of Lost Rituals, 75 Practices for Grieving, Mourning, and Healing, from Stephanie Sarazan, out November 10th. I don't know if I can get it to focus. Sorry, y'all. I'm learning here. In the perfect companion in times of grief and sorrow. Loss is inevitable, grief is the natural response, and ritual is how we heal. Whether seeking to ease the ache of personal heartbreak or extend support to a grieving friend, the Little Book of Lost Rituals offers 75 plus gentle, practical applications to help honor what was, hold what hurts, and slowly rediscover life. Eclipse of the Crown, aka Caggiano, out July 28th. A lot of beautiful art today. Their destinies are irrevocably entangled, but will their bond finally be the realm's ultimate undoing? Nothing about Damien Malpheus Bloodthorn's evil destiny has gone according to plan. The reason? A certain noblewoman who has somehow enmeshed herself in his softening heart. I'm so distracted because there's like 3 goblins in a trench coat. I'm gonna see if I can. And that has me cackling. Oh, they're on the front too. Whoops. Well, it was far more funny and distracting while reading a bit of the description. Okay. From Radha Argawal, October 6th, How to Make a Friend, A Modern Guide to Friendship. Friendship isn't something you have, it's something you practice. In a world engineered for speed, self-sufficiency, and screens, many of us feel lonelier than ever. In How to Make a Friend, best-selling author and community builder Radha Argawal reveals what modern culture has forgotten. Friendship is gloriously inefficient, and that's exactly why it matters. Okay, from May Cobb, national best-selling author of All the Little Houses and The Hunting Wives, November 17th, All the Little Secrets. The highly anticipated follow-up to All the Little Houses. From the USA Today bestselling author of The Hunting Wives, now a hit Netflix series, comes a deliciously wicked standalone sequel to All the Little Houses, as the fallout from an utterly unexpected death reverberates over every margarita and through every pine-lined street down in Texas. Nobody does explosive and twisted like May Cobb does it. She's in a league of her own. And that is a quote from Lisa Jewell. Okay, from KJ Whittle, October 20th, A Reunion to Die For. They wanted their school bully dead, now someone's granted their wish. In a dingy pub, a high school reunion brings 5 old friends back together. As they catch up after 20 years, painful memories surface, all centered around the disastrous prom night that broke them apart and the school bully at the heart of it all. King of the class turned handsome sports superstar Eric Stewart poses as a charming local celebrity, but his old friends know of his hidden cruel streak that made each of them miserable. The more they drink, the more a morbid plan begins to take shape, with everyone tossing in ideas of how they could get the ultimate form of revenge. The next morning, heads pounding and hearts racing, they discover Eric has been found dead, exactly the way they drunkenly planned it. Sorry as I cough directly into the mic at y'all. From friend of the show, coming October 13th, from Cindy RX Huh, The Murder Party. That'll be exciting. Her books are always a good time. An exclusive club, a secret party, and a murder hiding in plain sight. From the author of Perfect Little Monsters and This Is Where We Die comes a twisted thriller that will leave you guessing until the very end. So, good one there. That'll be fun. Okay. The Hearth Witch's Guide to Spite and Spellwork, Kiri Gallahan, October 6th. I suggest you brush up on your hexes, babes. Sounds like you got a nasty one on your hands. As the bastard child of the late Earl King, Detective Avery Hemlock is used to being alone. 200 years ago, she preferred it, but after endangering Saga Trigg's life by involving her in a case, Avery must choose solitude for Saga's safety. For once, alone is starting to feel a lot more like lonely. But when the death of a local witch might be the result of a vicious revenge hex, the enigmatic circumstances and puzzle are too curious to keep them apart. With a case bigger than it appears, the two must uncover the secrets even the Winter Council wants to keep. Nothing is initially as it seems, even the truths they themselves hid for years. Fun. A little bit of a cozy fantasy there. Catherine Moon, September 2026, A Lady of Rooksgrave Manor, a Tempting Monsters novel. I don't want to be your cage, little star. I'd like to be your home. On the brink of losing her position as a maid, Esther receives the offer of a place at Rooksgrave Manor, a house of ill and unusual repute, which sounds like a perfect fit for a young woman with Esther's inclinations. Even better, the invitation comes by the hand of the handsome Dr. Underwood, a delicate gentleman with a ferocious alter ego who knows exactly what he wants from Esther. The men and the decadence of the manor feel too good to be true for a girl of Esther's station. There are rules to be followed, expectations to meet, and Esther is afraid she might be too wicked, even for a place like Rooksgrave. Wonder what that's about. We are flying through. We're almost there, y'all. Thanks for hanging with me. Again, in the comments down below, let me know which of these books you're adding to your TBR. If there are any books you want to hear more about that I may have glanced over as we were kind of flying through to get through these boxes and not give you too long of a video to watch, comment them. I'm more than happy to dive into those comments and respond with additional info and links to where you can find these books in Libby and on, like Goodreads or Storygraph if you want more info. Okay, You Are What You See, How My Favorite Shows Became My Worst Influences, October 13th, from Domenica Ferreau. Entertainment wasn't just entertainment. Entertainment was never just entertainment. It was instruction. From the sleek hallways of Constance Billiard to the corridors of Gray Sloan Memorial Hospital, Domenica Ferreau, like so many of us, was raised by TV. It was her greatest comfort, her most passionate obsession, her favorite form of therapy. Her childhood friends were cloaked in laugh tracks, her mentors monologued under stage lights, and her ideas of love, sex, power, beauty, and self-worth were shaped frame by frame. But what if the stories that comforted women also misled us into becoming shells of who we are meant to be? Once in a Timeline, Iman Hariri Kia, out October 13th. I love this cover. I love the glitchy effect on the art. Get ready with me to break out of the algorithm. Leah Grace is the New York City influencer, or at least she's determined to be. After leaving her past behind to pursue her dreams, failure is not an option. Every day she films her aesthetic routine, the perfect light, the perfect latte, the perfect life, until one morning her day starts to glitch. Her neighbors flicker, her best friend loops, and Leah realizes she's no longer the creator, but the content, and she's trapped inside her last day in the life video, forever playing on an endless, infinite loop. Ooh, that sounds fun. All right, what do we got? Dragon of the Deep, Beth Revis, January 26th, 2027, y'all. Sneak peek. By the dragons choosing, queens will rise and kingdoms will shatter. Branded as bad luck and bound to her barren island home by the superstition of skalds and sailors alike, Emilia has no future until she risks her life to save a storm-tossed longship and boldly challenges formidable and dangerously compelling Captain Ragnar to let her prove her worth. The Burn Line, Jonathan Sims, August 25th. Sorry, cool cover. Beneath the streets of London, it hungers. It's the hottest summer on record, and the city is suffering. Prices are high, pay is low, and then, on one fateful morning, 5 travelers find themselves trapped in the tube car deep in the London Underground. It will change their lives forever. By the time they leave the train, they will be bound together as witness to a single horrific event. Something terrible, irreversible, and monstrous. Something hungry. Something that none of them can remember. From Penny Zhang, Accidents Never Happen, January 12th, 2027. Let me tell you a story about sisters. Baltimore, 1985. Mad is still processing the night her father disappeared. Before, she and her sister Annabelle lived alone on above Goldie's, the family bar, where they spent their nights listening to Blondie, reading Edgar Allan Poe, and dreaming of unsure futures. Now that it's clear he's never returning, Annabelle has become reclusive. Neighbors have started spreading damaging rumors about the family, and Mad is struggling to keep Goldie's afloat. When a photo makes it look like there's a ghost in the upstairs window of the bar, the sisters decide to make up a haunting tale based on none other than Poe to put them back on the map. Because who can resist a good bar story, especially a haunted one? Okay. If We Survive the Night, Joe Salazar. I believe I shared this one earlier in the video. Okay. Ooh. Jessica Peterson, August 2026, W Ranch. This is Colt. She isn't supposed to care about a ranch. She definitely isn't supposed to fall for the foreman, and his 6-year-old son is absolutely, definitely not supposed to capture her heart. Lainey Brown is not ranch material. She's a city girl who landed on the legendary Wallace Ranch to give the place a fresh coat of branding and get her career back on track. She's got no interest in cowboys, cattle, or the infuriatingly gorgeous foreman who clearly wants her gone. But somehow, between their very first fight and a Texas night sky that stretches on forever, something shifts. Lainey stops counting the days until she can leave, and Colt stops pretending he wants her to. Cute. Ugh. The Blood Queen, Sarah Rosh and Beth Rivas, 10-6. In this stunning sequel to The Crimson Throne, Alf and Samson must infiltrate the Fae Court to prepare to face the bloodthirsty army of the Highblade, who is intent on destroying both the mortal and Fae worlds. From the New York Times bestselling authors of Witch and Hunter duology, Sarah Rosh and Beth Rivas, comes the conclusion to this incredible romantasy duology. Just a few left here from Holly Renee, 11-3, Moon Cursed. I like this cover too, the art's very cool. A cursed sea king, a stolen bride, and a fate meant for another. They say madness dwells in the ocean's depths and in the eyes of the drowned king. Cursed to take a human bride and break her mind the moment she sees his face, the drowned king spends his life in torment, watching, waiting. Lou was never meant to be chosen. Brandon from birth is a salt witch. She has always been seen as the cursed shadow of her moon-blessed twin. Now, veiled and bound in marriage to a man she must never see, she's thrust into a life of ancient gods, an unraveling fate, and unspeakable desire. Ooh, I think we have just 3 left. Bad Intentions, Ileana Zander, August. Josie Boots messed up really badly, so she returns to her small hometown of Burnville to care for her ailing grandmother. It's been 25 years since an unspeakable crime rocked the town, 25 years since her grandmother's trial, 22 years since her mother's death, 6 years since Josie was called the bad seed, 2 months since she proved them right. Josie just can't catch a break. Maybe finally she can find peace in Burnville. But then a stranger shows up, promising to tell Josie all about her family's dark past. When Josie goes to meet him, a brutal crime happens right in front of her eyes. Faking for Now, Frost Lake High, Book 3, August 2026, Rebecca Genshak. Surviving senior year at a rival school is hard enough. Falling for her fake boyfriend, the school's golden boy soccer star, even harder. And then our last one, Italian Women Don't Get Old, Italian last name, okay. Raylene D'Agostino Mautner, PhD, A Woman's Guide to Aging Beautifully, the Mediterranean Way. Very aesthetic cover here. An Italian-inspired path to beauty at every age. In a culture obsessed with youth, aging can feel like a losing battle. Wrinkles are erased, bodies are scrutinized, and women are told implicitly and explicitly what relevance fades with time. But in Italy, women live by a radically different philosophy. Italian Women Don't Get Old reveals the Mediterranean secrets of confidence, vitality, and grace that keep La Donna Italiana radiant at every age. Drawing on body image research, psychology, and lived wisdom wisdom of Italian women themselves, Italian Women Don't Get Old offers a practical, empowering framework for restoring a positive relationship with your body, one that enriches your interior life, your outer world, and your daily self-care rituals. And with that, friends, we have made it through 4 massive boxes from our friends over at Sourcebooks. Sourcebooks, thank you so much for sharing these wonderful titles early with me. I'm so excited to get to share them with all of you. In the comments down below, let me know any books that you want to hear a little bit more about or want to link to. And of course, let me know what you're adding to your TBR from this. I think there are so many exciting things that will be coming out, in some instances in just a few days, and in some instances in quite a few months. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Make sure you go check out Book Lounge by Libby and see me talk to some wonderful folks there. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching, and happy reading!